the high-stakes theater of modern naval warfare, where a single mistake can have catastrophic consequences. A recent incident in the Red Sea has sent shockwaves through the U.S. military. It's a story of misidentification, a near disaster, and a stark reminder of the chaotic nature of combat. Tonight, we're diving deep into the friendly fire incident, where a U.S. Navy warship shot down one of its own fighter jets. The setting is the Red Sea, a volatile waterway where tensions have been boiling over. The USS Harry S. Truman Carrier Strike Group is on deployment, a massive show of American naval power. Its mission, to protect vital shipping lanes and respond to increasing attacks from Houthi rebels in Yemen. These rebels have been targeting commercial and military vessels with a barrage of drones and missiles, turning the region into a high-alert combat zone. Among the ships in this powerful armada is the USS Gettysburg, a Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruiser. These warships are the shield of the fleet, armed with the advanced Aegis combat system, designed to detect, track, and destroy incoming threats with deadly precision. On this particular day, the Gettysburg's crew was on edge, their eyes glued to radar screens, ready to defend the carrier at a moment's notice. Meanwhile, soaring high above, two U.S. Navy F/A-18 Super Hornets were returning from a mission. These jets are the backbone of naval aviation, capable of a wide range of operations. As they approached the carrier group for landing, something went terribly wrong. On the bridge of the USS Gettysburg, a critical error was made. The two friendly jets, returning to their floating home, were misidentified. On the radar screens, they didn't look like allies. They looked like incoming Houthi cruise missiles. In a split-second decision, driven by the intense pressure to protect the fleet from a perceived attack, the order was given. The USS Gettysburg unleashed its formidable firepower. A Standard Missile-2, or SM-2, erupted from its vertical launch cell, streaking through the sky with a terrifying purpose. For the pilots in the Super Hornets, the world turned into a nightmare. One moment they were on a routine return flight. The next, a missile was closing in on them, a missile launched by their own side. The pilot of the lead jet later described the horrifying moment he saw the missile lock on. He said his life flashed before his eyes. There was no time to react, no way to escape. The missile found its target. The impact was devastating. The F/A-18 was blown apart. In a testament to their training and the incredible engineering of their equipment, both the pilot and the weapons systems officer managed to eject from the disintegrating aircraft. They parachuted down into the waters of the Red Sea, watching as their multi-million-dollar fighter jet plunged into the depths. The second Super Hornet pilot witnessed the entire horrifying event. In a display of incredible airmanship, they managed to evade the second missile fired by the Gettysburg, narrowly avoiding the same fate. Can you imagine the sheer terror and confusion of that moment? Dodging a missile, was fired by a friendly ship. A rescue operation was immediately launched. Helicopters were scrambled, and the downed aircrew was quickly located and pulled from the water. Thankfully, their injuries were reported as minor. A small miracle in an incident that could have easily claimed both of their lives. But while the crew was safe, the questions were just beginning. How could this have happened? This incident wasn't just a random accident. It occurred within a very specific and intense operational context. The USS Harry S. Truman's deployment, which ran from September 2024 to June 2025, was defined by heavy combat. The Carrier Strike Group was actively engaged in airstrikes against Houthi targets in Yemen. In response, the Houthis were relentlessly targeting U.S. ships. The air was thick with tension and the constant threat of attack. This environment, often called a fog of war, is where mistakes are most likely to happen. During this grueling 9-month deployment, the Truman's Air Wing lost a total of 3 F/A-18s. One was this tragic friendly fire incident. The other 2 were lost in separate combat-related situations, highlighting the extreme dangers these pilots and sailors face daily. The loss of even one aircraft is a significant blow, but losing one to friendly fire raises a host of uncomfortable questions for military leaders. Immediately, the Navy launched a comprehensive investigation. What they uncovered was a chain of errors and poor decisions. The official reports pointed to failures in the critical IFF protocols. That's identification, friend or foe. This system is supposed to allow military units to distinguish friendly forces from enemy ones. In this case, it failed. Whether it was a technical malfunction, human error in interpreting the data, or a breakdown in communication between the ship and the aircraft, the result was the same: a catastrophic failure of identification. The investigation highlighted the immense challenge of operating in a complex, three-dimensional battle space. In the Red Sea, the airspace is crowded. You have commercial airliners, military aircraft from various nations, and of course, the constant threat of enemy drones and missiles that can appear with little to no warning. For the sailors on the USS Gettysburg, the radar blips of the two returning FA-18s appeared to match the flight profile of an incoming missile threat. They had been briefed on and were expecting. The pressure to make a life-or-death decision in seconds is almost unimaginable. If they hesitate and it's a real missile, the carrier could be hit. If they fire and it's a friendly, this tragedy is the result. This incident has profound implications that go far beyond the loss of a single aircraft. First and foremost, it's a wake-up call about military readiness. It forces a hard look at the training, procedures, and technology used for identification and communication. Are our protocols robust enough for the speed and complexity of modern warfare? Are sailors being trained adequately to handle the immense cognitive load of a high-threat environment? The Navy is now re-evaluating its entire approach to air defense to prevent a recurrence. This involves everything from software updates for the EJS system to new training scenarios that better simulate the confusion of real combat. Then there's the most important factor: the safety of personnel. Friendly fire or blue-on-blue incidents, as they're known in military jargon, are one of the most devastating things that can happen in combat. They erode trust between units and have a deep psychological impact on everyone involved. The pilot who was shot down, the sailors on the Gettysburg who fired the missile Every, carries the weight of that day. It highlights the inherent dangers faced by service members, not just from the enemy, but from the fog of war itself. Finally, there's the strategic impact. An incident like this, happening in such a visible and contested region, can affect U.S. credibility. Allies and adversaries alike are watching. It can be used by adversaries like the Houthis as propaganda, a way to portray the U.S. military as reckless or It also adds another layer of complexity to U.S. operations in the Middle East. Commanders must now be even more cautious, which could potentially slow down reaction times in a real attack. It's a delicate balancing act between preventing friendly fire and maintaining an effective defense. This incident aboard the USS Gettysburg is a sobering story. It's a story of bravery, with the pilots who survived and the rescuers who saved them. It's a story of failure, with the breakdown in protocols that led to the event. And it's a story of learning, as the U.S. Navy dissects what went wrong to ensure it never happens again. In the lethal dance of naval combat, there is zero room for error. This incident serves as a powerful and tragic reminder of that fact. What do you think? Is this an unavoidable risk of modern warfare, or a sign of deeper issues within military procedure? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you found this breakdown insightful, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more in-depth analysis of military and geopolitical events. See you next time.